So once again, welcome to Math Tutorials. We continue with the discussion on adding and subtracting fractions. In this particular video, we are looking at the operation subtraction or minus. Okay, right. We began by few general rules. So let's do that here. As a reminder, what are we saying? We're saying only add or subtract when you have a common denominator or common denominations, or call them like terms. So it's the common denomination that is going to make these things like. The strategies, the principles are the same for addition and subtraction. So let's put that quickly here. Only add, subtract when the denominations are the same. Okay. The question then is, if the strategies are the same, then what are we going to do here new without repeating ourselves all over? Okay. So what I want to do in here is to give value to this particular discussion by looking at something unique. Why we wanted to start doing things in a particular way, in a very unique way, so we can make life easy as we advance. Okay. So as usual, just going to draw some good margin here. Okay. And in this margin, I want to answer two questions. I want to investigate, in one sense, A plus B, and then B plus A. And I want to draw the conclusion on the assumption that I'm giving two fractions and the operation is addition. Is the reverse result the same as the given? Okay. And if that is the case, would the order in which I add be of some relevance to me? All right. So this is what we want to do in one case. And we want to ask the question, if this is the left-hand side going to be the same as the right-hand side if I change the order in which it was given? Right. So the question therefore will be what? Does order matters? Okay. In another sense, I want to look at when the operation actually is not addition. So I have A minus B, and then I change the order to B minus A. I want to ask the question, is this order going to make any difference? Good. So the question here will be, does order matters? Assuming we ask this question in a different way, does the order matter in this case? All right. So quickly, let's start with some examples and see where we are. Consider, I'm giving 2 over 3, and we have to add 1 over 3. We want to find out if this is equal to the reverse case, if I do 1 over 3 and I add 2 over 3. Okay. Don't forget to illustrate the point. We pick very simple case. Okay. And the concept is the same, the strategy will be the same, and therefore if the numbers change, it doesn't make it any much of a difference. All right, so let's begin. Let's take the left-hand side first and see what we do. This will give us what? The bottom is the same, so write 1. I have 2 plus 1. This will be equal to what? 3 over what? 3. Good. And what do we get out of that? That will be equal to 1. Okay. So most importantly, I'm going to take this one, bring it down here, and do my comparison. So I have 1. When I ask the question, is this one going to be equal to the other side? So let's take this. What do we have? The bottom is the same, so I'm going to write 1 of the bottoms first plus the second at the top. Let's move on. What do we get? The bottom doesn't change. I have 3. I have 3 at the top. So what do we get here? 1. So I want to bring that also down here. What do I have? I have the number 1. Okay. So my 1 looks like 1. All right. The question we want to ask is the left-hand side here, which is 1, the same as the right-hand side? And you agree with me that the left-hand side equals the right-hand side, and therefore what? Yes, we are correct. Okay. So this is yes. All right. Then we can do more than that. So quickly, we want to investigate the second part. We will use the same fractions as we did before. So here, let's have 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3. And we want to know if this one here is actually equal to sorry about the notation. The second case, we want this to be minus. Okay, so this will be equal to 1 over 3 minus 2 over 3. All right, let's keep this boxed nicely. What do I have here? The bottom is the same, right? 1. What do I do to the top? First minus the second. What would that give me? The bottom is the same. So what do I get here? I have 2 at home. I borrow 1. So if I pay back, I have 1, which is mine. So that is it. Okay. So let's rewrite this nicely. This will be equal to 1 over 3. So I can bring this back in here. I have 1 over 3. And I want to find out if this is equal to. All right. Let's take this. What can we do? The bottom is the same, so I write 1 first minus the second. And what am I getting? Not much has happened at the bottom. Well, I have 1 at home. I went and borrowed 2. So even if I pay back, I'll still be in a debt of 1. So this will be equal to minus 1 over 3. All right. Let's bring it down here. So we have what? Minus 1 over 3. Okay. Is the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side? The answer is what? No. The left-hand side is not equal to the right-hand side. So here again, you can see that the questions we put forth actually are beautiful questions to give value to this particular discussion. So if I ask the question, is the left-hand side here equal to the right-hand side when the operation is addition? The answer you give me is yes. And if I ask the question, does order matters? No. Okay, so be sensitive to the way we ask the question in this case. The order in which I add them does not matter because I produce the same answers on the left as well as on the right side. Okay, come here and ask the same question. Is the left-hand side the same as the right-hand side? The answer here is no. Big one, of course. Big no. If I ask the question, does order in which I do my operation or I do my addition or subtraction, in this particular case subtraction, matters? The answer you give me is that yes, the order does matter. Okay, so what the moral of this exercise is that learning to do things in a very unique way does help when you start some of these things. So when we were saying the first, handling the top, we want you to do the first plus the second or the first minus the second. That's a very good reason. While in one case, you might actually do anything and get it there because the operation is addition. When the operation changes to subtraction, you cannot do the order in any way expecting the same thing. And usually the wrong answers are also there for you to tick. And the person who violates this principle seems to pay the ultimate price for that. So I hope this discussion really add value to this topic. And if that is the case, then I have done my part. And I just want to encourage you to continue to study. So have fun and let's get your feedbacks.